What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we cover everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including the fourth stimulus package update, stimulus check update, money, investing, the stock market. We cover it all here on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. In this video, we are going to hear from Democratic leader Pramila Jayapal, who's leader of the Democratic Progressive Caucus. She's leader of around half of the Democrats in the House of Representatives, as well as a potential $2,600 stimulus check that could be going out to a lot of Americans, around almost 1 million Americans we'll be talking about in this video. And very interesting new breaking story on You Can't Make This Stuff Up here in our newest episode. Oh, and I'll have a new guest here for you guys here today at the end of this video, a special guest appearance. So make sure to watch all the way to the end at the end of this video. So let's jump right in. Here we go. We'll start with Democratic leader Pramila Jayapal of the Democrats. She's leader of about half of all the Democrats in the House of Representatives. Here she is.
Well, I think we are on a two-track strategy. We're trying to push as hard as we can for anything we can get through, and we're going to keep doing that legislatively. But that's also why we rolled out an executive action agenda. At the beginning of January, we started talking about it. We rolled it out a few weeks ago. We've already ticked off about 5 or 6 of those items on that executive agenda list that will raise wages and lower costs for the American people. And so those are things that the president can do unilaterally with executive action. They're not as good, Chuck, as legislation, so I'm not trying to make the argument that they are, but I am trying to say that these will just continue to add to the ways in which we bring relief to a lot of families who are still struggling across the country. And so we're moving both tracks, and I'm very optimistic on the executive agenda front. I am still hopeful on the legislative front, and we're not giving up.
I'm going to channel something that I've heard. I've been traveling a lot more over the last couple of months in talking to folks outside of this Acela corridor here. And the question is, hey, can you just do one thing? How about just doing the child tax credit? Or how about just doing universal pre-K? Or how about just doing prescription drugs? Just do one of them. Or I've even heard student loan relief. Can you do one? And if you could pick one, what is viable?
Well, I think that the thing that we have been talking about is scaled down from what we talked about before. It is some combination of tax reform, which is a big deal to make the wealthiest pay their fair share and pay for all of this. Prescription drug reform, which would be a big deal to lower costs for the American people on prescription drugs. And then climate, some portion of action on climate change for sure. And then the question is, can we also get something on the care economy? And I'll just tell you, Chuck, whether it's the child tax credit, whether it's child care, we need to do something to get women back into the workforce and to address this crisis where we've had more women leave the workforce and now fewer re-entering the workforce because child care has become so expensive. Housing is another one that we're still pushing on, just because if you're thinking about inflation in this moment, right? Gas prices are going up. So what do we do to make sure that families can meet their budget? We lower costs of other things that have also been inflationary, like childcare and housing. So that's how we're thinking about it. We will do whatever we can get done with 50 votes in the Senate and 218 votes in the House. Student debt relief, student debt cancellation, that the president can do on his own. And we have, as you know, been pushing him very, very hard. We got the first half of that, which was at least a pause on the payments, a continued extension of the pause on the payments. But now, hopefully, before this expires at the end of August, we'll get the cancellation of some amount of student debt.
And what should be, let me go deep on that. What should be the parameters of who gets their debt canceled? Who should be in that group of people?
Yeah, well, here's how I think about it. When I ran for Congress in 2016, student debt was at 1.3 trillion. Today, student debt is at 1.9 trillion. A lot of this money is money that the federal government makes and that these debt collectors make on interest rates that are higher than what we actually need to be charging. And so this is, if you look at the whole issue, it's like, why would we work against ourselves if the objective is to get as many people educated as possible with the highest qualifications, whether it's a community college or whether it's a four-year college or a trade school, and get them into jobs where they can support themselves and their families. So this all shows that if as much debt as you can cancel, you may know that I'm for canceling all of it, but as much debt as you can cancel is going to stimulate the economy. Last fact here is that if we were to cancel all of the debt that's out there, we would raise the wealth of black families in America by 40%. This is a racial justice issue as well.
Right. Why wouldn't you means test that?
Well, I think that the principle is that so many people have debt, and we've made education so unaffordable that the small percentage of people who can afford to pay it back is not worth the barriers that you would construct to actually getting it out to the people who need it. I mean, that's always the problem with means testing. People think that means testing is the answer to everything, but it puts barriers in the way that actually slow down getting the help to the people who need it the most.
Is it easier, and this is real, is it easier to wipe away the interest first?
I mean, I think wiping away the interest doesn't really do it because here's another really interesting thing that I've learned over the last couple of years. The fastest growing demographic of people with student debt now is elders. It's seniors on fixed income who are either still paying off their student debt or they're taking over the debt of their kids or grandkids who can't afford it, and they're on fixed income. So, again, I think sometimes we overthink this stuff and trying to parse it down when the studies actually show that we would have a net economic benefit, because here's what happens. When you free up student debt payments for people, it's not like they just stock away that money. They actually put it into buying, cars, houses, whatever. So it stimulates the economy through their purchases.
Yeah, so as you can see here, a lot of different things that the Democrats are considering to help multiple different people. Of course, the hot topic at this particular moment is student loans, student loan debt relief, debt forgiveness, in addition to student loan debt forgiveness and other types of debt forgiveness as well. Senator Bernie Sanders has also called for medical debt forgiveness as well. He thinks that all medical debt should be forgiven. If you've seen my past video, I said that, or Bernie Sanders says that, um, I just kind of, reiterated what he said and just kind of told you what he said because medical debt is actually a largely American problem. There's actually very few other countries that even have medical debt because most other countries have healthcare as a citizen right. They have healthcare is covered by being a citizen. They have universal healthcare, and we're one of the few countries as a first world country that don't. And you can go bankrupt just by getting sick. It's if you kind of think about it, what happened? How did you go broke? I got sick. It's actually it's kind of sad, to be honest. So Bernie Sanders is actually calling for medical debt forgiveness, just like student loan debt forgiveness. And remember that I always show this on the screen because some people, if you don't know about this, you might think I'm lying to you or something. But last year, there was $11.5 billion in student loan forgiveness done last year. And there's also already been several $billion of student loan forgiveness done this year. I think it's probably around close to $15 billion of student loan forgiveness done in the last, year and a quarter. Okay, so you can see this article directly from Forbes. Again, mostly for people with student loans and they have disabilities. Their schools closed on them. Their schools defrauded them. And people in the public service student loan forgiveness programs. But you can see here, there's been tens of billions of dollars of student loans that have been forgiven in the last year and a quarter. And there's going to be more. It just hasn't been done for everybody. It hasn't been done for everybody yet. That doesn't mean that it won't happen here in the near future. It is an election year, not for Biden himself, but it is for the House, the Senate, and most governors, as well as everybody in the House of Representatives and about a third of senators as well. So it is a big year. It could happen this year. We'll have to see if it happens for everybody as well. And if you think you might qualify for one of these student loan forgiveness programs, just go to Google, type in student loan forgiveness, and go to this result here that is studentaid.gov. Okay, go to the official student loan forgiveness, the .gov student loan forgiveness page. Okay, you'll know that you'll see here it's an official government website here. You'll see it right here on the top, official government website of the United States. And from here, you can kind of look into the information. Are you looking for a loan forgiveness discharge form? And from there, you can kind of research. It might take you a lot of time to figure out if you're even eligible or not, and you may have to go down the rabbit hole, but that's where you can kind of get more information. And also, again, this is just the hot topic of kind of the last couple of days. President Biden has extended the student loan payment pause for all federal student loans for over 40 million people through August 31st. And honestly, it could be extended again when August comes, because then the elections will be right around the corner. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen again. I will keep you up to date. Also, you could see here some big, massive $2,600 payments could be going out for almost a million people in Alaska. Yeah, so Alaska has just under a million residents, and you could see it right here in black and white. Payments of $2,600 proposed for residents in 2022. See if you're eligible for the cash. And again, we just have more and more states coming here by the day. Um, each state just kind of stepping up and saying, hey, we want to give money to our residents. You can see here this dated just literally yesterday. Payments of $2,600 are being proposed. The Alaska House of Representatives is currently debating the state's annual operating budget, which could put money back into residents' pockets. On Tuesday this week, there was a vote in favor of providing $2,600 payments to eligible residents. The funds would be a combination of a one-time energy rebate check and a permanent fund dividend. Each would be worth about $1,300, so two $1,300 checks, according to the Anchorage Daily News. So two $1,300 checks for a total of $2,600 each, for Alaska residents. The energy rebate would be in addition to the annual dividend checks on oil that Alaska residents receive. So, yeah, at least I guess somebody's benefiting. Normal citizens are benefiting from oil. Alaskans are especially vulnerable to high oil prices as the state lacks the refinery operations to meet demands. Although debates on the budget are still expected to continue throughout the week, and Alaska's fiscal year begins on July 1st. If the payments were to be approved, the state's budget must pass the House, advance to the Senate, and be signed into law. But lawmakers in the Senate are working on a similar proposal. So they are working on this right now. Dividends are provided to Alaska residents who have lived in the state for at least an entire calendar year and who plan to remain in the state indefinitely. The fund was created to preserve a portion of the state's oil revenues for future generations. That is really, really cool that Alaska actually gives money back to their residents like that. I wish more states did that. And hopefully, we're going to see that this year in the form of more stimulus checks. Remember, California did a massive stimulus check last year. Maryland did a stimulus check last year. And I mean, really, there's going to be a lot of stimulus checks this year. In fact, there's several that are already doing stimulus checks this year. I'm trying to even really think of them all. I know Indiana's doing one for $125, and Michigan's doing those $400 stimulus checks for refund checks. I guess I should call those ones for per car. And there's a lot of them. And there's a lot of proposals going on right now. New York has a $250 proposal, and yeah, I can't even really think of them all off the top of my head. That's why I show you them all here kind of as they come up, and I give you the status updates of them as they're coming on. So I'll keep you up to date here. I'm actually going to be doing a big one here coming up as I'm going to kind of try to put them all together in one video here. So stay tuned for that as well. A recent financial statement released by Alaska, the Permanent Fund Corporation, says the value of the fund sits just above $80 billion. So good for them. Just for comparison, California has a $45 billion surplus this year, and they're going to send out those, probably send out stimulus checks or gas refund checks as well this year. And remember that California sent out stimulus checks last year for $600 and an extra $500 for if you had children. So $1,100 stimulus checks for some people last year. They have now proposed stimulus checks this year for $400 or $800 for married couples. And there's even a possibility there could be another stimulus check after that because, like I said, they have like $45 billion of surplus, extra money on top of their budget this year. And that's after they sent out the stimulus check last year. And there's really a lot of states that are sending what they call tax rebates, which is really the exact same thing as a stimulus check. A stimulus check is actually a tax rebate, even if you're not a tax filer. Um, it's actually the same name. A stimulus check is actually an advanced tax rebate or just a tax rebate. A lot of people get that confused, but it's actually a tax rebate. So, yeah, there's a very real possibility of a federal stimulus check coming and or state stimulus checks coming for a lot of people this year. And I will keep you up to date here on all these. And also here in today's episode of Can't Make This Stuff Up, the Academy Awards has banned Will Smith from the Oscars for 10 years because of his slap. Uh, yeah, you could kind of see that picture there on Chris Rock during the Oscars. Yeah. Yeah, you can see here Will Smith is reportedly banned from attending any Academy events for 10 years after slapping Chris Rock during the Oscars over the joke the comedian made about his wife who has alopecia, and that's why her hair was basically shaved. The Board of Governors for the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences announced the decade-long ban on Friday, today, according to multiple reports, roughly 2 weeks after the shocking altercation on the 94th annual Oscars ceremony in Los Angeles. The Academy Awards said in a statement they were meant to be a celebration of many individuals in our community who did incredible work in the past year. However, those moments were overshadowed by the unacceptable and harmful behavior we saw Mr. Smith exhibit on stage. Smith, who's 53 years old, took to the stage after Rock cracked a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, his wife, and struck the comedian. The performer then returned to his seat and yelled at him and stunned Rock, saying, "Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth." He said that a couple times. Yeah, and then just a few minutes later, Will Smith actually won the award for Best Actor, his first time ever receiving that. He did later on apologize to the Academy, and then the next day apologize to Chris Rock. Smith said in a statement, Will Smith said, "I have directly responded to the Academy's disciplinary hearing notice, and I will accept any and all consequences for my conduct." He said, calling his actions shocking, painful, and inexcusable. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. You know, it's a little bit of a tough situation because he was kind of defending his wife's honor, but there's no reason for violence. I mean, he could have just yelled at the guy, but I think his emotions got the best of him, and now you have to suffer the consequences. Uh, yeah. So let me know your thoughts. Again, there's no excuse for violence, but I know everybody has kind of a different opinion on this, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. But that's the ruling. You think it's a fair ruling? Do you think it's too harsh? Not harsh enough? Yeah. Also, do you think they should let him keep his Oscar for Best Actor that he literally won a few moments later? There are also reports that they asked him to leave the award ceremony just a moments later, and he refused to leave and stayed and then accepted the award and did not leave. There's also kind of an interesting theory that if that would have been just a normal person, a fan that ran up there, they would have arrested him immediately. But because it was Will Smith, that didn't happen. So that is kind of an interesting scenario there. Because you think about like you watch like a football game and you see like a random fan run out there, they tackle him, arrest him, put him in handcuffs, and carry him off. Obviously, we didn't see that happen here. So you do kind of see a very, very different scenario. Now, but it is interesting to note that Chris Rock did not press charges. He declined to press charges. So, but we also didn't see like Will Smith get tackled or anything on the spot. So, just kind of giving you some kind of point of view here, So we didn't see anybody get tackled, but they also knew who he was. I don't know. Very, very different treatment here. Very, very different treatment. But note that Chris Rock did not press charges. So I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments. But definitely a story that will be talked about for quite a while. I know you can't make this stuff up. So let me know your thoughts. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. Remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Who are you?
What's that?
Yeah, you know what that is.
What is that thing?
What is it?
A poop. Tell me what it is now. No.
That's a special puzzle piece from a famous movie called National Treasure.
And tell me what you did.
We got that from the movie. That's the actual movie
Tell
piece.
me how you sneak up on him.
I snuck up on him and I said, "Give me your puzzle piece." And Nicolas Cage said, "Okay, it's Jimmy. Here's the puzzle piece."
Tell me it again.
And that puzzle piece leads you to a golden treasure. What do you think of that, buddy?
What?
Look, this is the actual puzzle piece from the movie, buddy. Millions of people.
Is it made of plastic?
And it's made of wood. Millions of people seen this movie.
It's made of wood?
Yeah, when you're older, we will watch this movie together.
You watch it now?
I don't know if you're old enough to watch it now. You can't even sit through a movie. About 10 minutes into a movie and you're like running off. Ooh, careful. Your attention span isn't long enough yet.
Am I young enough like this?
Yeah.
Am I young enough like the board is?
Yeah, that's about how long your attention span is right now.
Now see what's on the other box.
On the other box,
Is there another box?
there will be soon. We'll have another What's in the Box contest soon, buddy. What should we put in the box next?
Maybe we should put a glasses in there for me.
Glasses for you?
Yeah.
Maybe we should put some cool sunglasses in there for you.
Okay.
See, look, now we got our special sunglasses on.
I get them off now.
You gotta put them on. You could look like a movie star. You could say, "Look, I'm Tom Cruise."
Like, I'm Tom Cruise.
Yeah, but you gotta leave them on.
Oh, that leaves mine.
You can't be Tom Cruise if you take them off.
I am Tom Cruise now.
Are you ready for Easter?
Yes, I am. You could skin dark on the eater.
Yes, sunglasses make it darker, buddy. All right, can you say bye-bye, everybody?
Bye.
Say we love you.
Love you.
And say we'll see you in the next video.
I'll see you in the next video.
Say make sure to subscribe.
Make sure subscribe.
And say click here to watch our next video.
Click here to watch the next video.
Say bye-bye, we love you.
Bye-bye, we love you.